Your mind won't shut up. 3 in the morning, and you're still replaying that conversation. What you should have said, what they probably thought, what it means. And the loop continues. Every possible outcome, every worst-case scenario, every mistake you might make tomorrow. This isn't thinking. This is mental imprisonment. And there's one ancient rule that ends it immediately, not gradually, not with practice, immediately. But first, you need to understand why your mind does this, because the answer isn't what you think. Asterisk, most people believe overthinking is a thinking problem. It's not. It's a control problem. Your brain is trying to control things it cannot control. And the harder you try, the worse it gets. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was born a slave and became one of the greatest teachers in history, figured this out 2,000 years ago. He created a rule so simple it sounds stupid, but everyone who actually applies it reports the same thing. The mental chaos stops, not because you've solved your problems, but because you've stopped fighting a battle you can't win. Asterisk, before I tell you the rule, you need to see what your mind is actually doing. Right now, you're probably worried about something. Maybe it's small. Maybe it's massive. Doesn't matter. Your mind is running simulations. If this happens, then I'll do that. But what if they respond this way? Then I'll need to say this. But what if that doesn't work? The simulation branches infinitely. And here's what makes this torture. You're trying to prepare for every possibility. Your mind believes that if it thinks hard enough, long enough, through enough scenarios, you'll be ready. You'll be safe. You'll be in control. Asterisk, but you won't, because most of what you're worried about will never happen. And the few things that do happen won't happen the way you imagined. So all those hours of mental rehearsal, wasted. Worse than wasted. Because while you were preparing for imaginary problems, you weren't present for your actual life. You missed the conversation happening in front of you. You didn't enjoy the meal. You didn't sleep. You traded reality for simulation. And the simulation was wrong anyway. Asterisk, this is what Epictetus saw. People torturing themselves trying to control the uncontrollable, the future, other people's opinions, outcomes, events, circumstances. And he watched them suffer, not because bad things happened to them, but because they were fighting reality itself. So he created a rule. And this rule, if you actually use it, doesn't just stop overthinking. It stops the entire category of suffering that comes from wanting reality to be different than it is. Asterisk, here's the rule. And I'm warning you, it sounds too simple. Some things are up to you. Some things are not up to you. That's it. That's the entire rule. And your first reaction is probably, obviously, everyone knows that, but you don't. Because if you actually understood this, you wouldn't overthink. You wouldn't worry about things you can't control. You wouldn't lie awake replaying conversations you can't change. You wouldn't spend hours imagining scenarios you can't prevent. So let me show you what this rule actually means. Asterisk, take the thing you're overthinking right now. Whatever it is, a relationship, a job, a decision, money, health, reputation. Now ask yourself this question. Can I control the outcome? Not influence, not affect. Control? Can you guarantee the result you want through your actions alone? If the answer is no, and it almost always is, then according to the Stoic rule, you should not think about the outcome at all. Not a little bit. Not as backup planning. Not at all. Because thinking about things you cannot control is voluntary suffering. You're choosing to torture yourself about something you're powerless over. Asterisk. But here's where it gets interesting, because your mind will immediately fight this. It will say, but I need to think about it. I need to prepare. I need to figure out what to do if it goes wrong. And this is the trap, because what you're calling preparation is actually anxiety disguised as productivity. Real preparation is this. You identify what you can control, then you do it. That's preparation. Everything else is just fear pretending to be planning. Asterisk. So let's be specific. You're worried about a job interview. Can you control whether they hire you? No. You can prepare well. You can answer questions clearly. You can dress appropriately. Those things are up to you. But their decision, not up to you. They might have already chosen someone internally. They might be looking for someone older, or younger, or with different experience. Or they might just not like you for reasons that have nothing to do with your qualifications. None of that is up to you. So, according to the Stoic rule, you prepare thoroughly for the things you control. Your answers, your appearance, your punctuality. And then you let go of the outcome completely. Asterisk, this sounds impossible. How do you not care about the outcome? But that's not what the rule says. It doesn't say don't care. It says don't think about things you can't control. There's a difference. You can want the job. You can prefer to get hired. But once you've done everything in your power, continuing to think about it is just suffering. It's not helping. It's not preparation. It's not productive. It's just pain. And pain you're choosing. Because you could choose differently. You could choose to focus only on what's up to you. Asterisk. Now, let's go deeper. Because the rule applies to more than just events. It applies to people. And this is where most overthinking happens. You're replaying a conversation, analyzing what someone said, what they meant, what they think of you, and your mind is trying to control their opinion. But you can't, ever, no matter how perfectly you behave. No matter how carefully you choose your words, you cannot control what another person thinks. Their opinion is formed by their history, their mood, their biases, their own problems. None of that is up to you. Asterisk, Epictetus said, if someone speaks badly of you, consider whether what they said is true. If it's true, fix it. If it's false, ignore it. Because their opinion is not up to you. Only your character is up to you. And if your character is good, their false opinion doesn't matter. This is radical. Because most people spend enormous energy trying to manage how others perceive them. And it's exhausting. Because it doesn't work. You can't control perception. You can only control behavior. So control behavior. Let perception take care of itself. Asterisk, here's what happens when you actually apply this rule. You're in a conversation and someone says something that bothers you. Your mind wants to spiral. What did they mean by that? Are they upset with me? Should I have said something different? But then you catch yourself. Is their internal state up to me? No. Is my response up to me? Yes. So you focus there. You decide how you want to respond. Calmly, thoughtfully, or maybe you decide not to respond at all. But you don't spiral about what they're thinking, because that's not up to you. And just like that, the overthinking stops. Not because you've solved anything, but because you've stopped trying to control what you cannot control. Asterisk. Now, let's talk about the future. Because this is where overthinking really lives. You're worried about what might happen, what could go wrong, how things might turn out. And your mind is trying to control the future by imagining every possibility. But you can't control the future. You can't even predict it accurately. So thinking about it is just suffering in advance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He was the emperor of Rome. He had actual power over many things, and even he recognized that most of what matters is outside his control. Asterisk. Asterisk. So what do you do instead? You focus on the present moment, because the present moment is where your power exists. Right now, what can you control? Your attention, your effort, your choices, your response. That's it. That's all that's ever up to you. And that's enough. Because if you control those things well, the future takes care of itself. Not the way you planned, not the way you hoped, but it takes care of itself. And you'll be fine, because you'll still have your attention, your effort, your choices, and your response. Those never leave you. Everything else can be taken. Those can't. Asterisk. Here's the test. Right now, bring to mind whatever you've been overthinking. Hold it clearly. Now ask the Stoic question. Is this up to me? Can I control this outcome through my actions alone? If yes, make a plan. Decide what you'll do, then do it, and stop thinking about it. You've handled what's in your control. If no, if it's not up to you, then stop thinking about it entirely. Not because it doesn't matter, but because thinking about it doesn't help. It just hurts. Asterisk. This is hard at first, because your mind will rebel. It will insist that you need to keep thinking, that somehow more analysis will lead to control. But it won't. The things not up to you will remain not up to you, no matter how much you think about them. And all that thinking is just stealing your peace. So the practice is this. Every time you notice yourself overthinking, ask the question, is this up to me? If no, redirect your attention to your breath, to what you're doing, to something you can actually control. At first, you'll have to do this 100 times a day. Your mind will keep drifting back, but each time you redirect, you're training yourself. You're building the habit of focusing only on what's yours to control. Asterisk, and something strange happens. Life doesn't get easier. Problems don't disappear, but you stop suffering over them because you're no longer fighting battles you can't win. You're no longer trying to control the uncontrollable. You're spending your energy on what actually matters, what you can actually affect. And suddenly, you have more energy because you're not wasting it on useless worry. You're directing it toward useful action. And action feels completely different from rumination. Action moves. Rumination spins. Action creates. Rumination destroys. Asterisk, let me give you one more example. Death. The ultimate thing, not up to you. You don't control when. You don't control how. You don't even control if it happens today or in 50 years. It's completely outside your power. And most people either avoid thinking about it entirely, or they spiral into anxiety when they do. But the Stoics said, think about death daily, not to be morbid, but to remember what's actually up to you. Your time is limited. You don't control how much you have. So what is up to you? How you use it, right now, today, this hour. That's up to you. And once you accept that death is not up to you, you stop wasting the time that is up to you. You stop postponing. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, because there is no perfect moment. There's only now, and now is all that's ever up to you. Asterisk, this is why the Stoic rule ends overthinking, because overthinking is always about things not up to you. The past isn't up to you. It happened. Other people's thoughts aren't up to you. They're having them. The future isn't up to you. It hasn't arrived yet. The only thing that's ever up to you is your present response, your current choice, your attention right now. And when you realize that, really realize it, overthinking becomes impossible, because there's nothing to overthink. There's only what to do next, and that's simple. Do the right thing, the thing that's in your control. Then do the next right thing, and the next. And somewhere in that process, you look back and realize the overthinking stopped. Not because you solved every problem, but because you stopped trying to control problems you were never meant to control. Asterisk. So here's what you do tomorrow. The moment you notice yourself overthinking, stop. Ask the question, is this up to me? If yes, make a plan and act. If no, let it go. Actually, let it go. Redirect your attention to something you can control. Your breath, your work, your response to what's in front of you. And do this every single time. Hundreds of times, if necessary. Because each time you do it, you're practicing the most important skill you'll ever learn. The skill of focusing your precious, limited energy on what actually matters. What's actually yours to control. Asterisk. The Stoics weren't trying to make you emotionless. They were trying to free you from pointless suffering. And most suffering is pointless. It's not responding to real problems. It's just your mind spinning scenarios about problems that don't exist yet and might never exist. That's not wisdom. That's torture. And you're doing it to yourself. So stop. Use the rule. Some things are up to you. Most things are not. Focus everything on what's up to you and let the rest go. Not because it doesn't matter, but because you can't control it. And trying to control what you can't control is the definition of insanity. Asterisk. Start now. Whatever you're overthinking, decide. Is it up to me? Then you know what to do. And if you want more Stoic wisdom that actually works in real life, subscribe to the Epictetus effect, where ancient philosophy solves modern problems. No theory, just tools. See you in the next one. Asterisk.